Baseball in December?
You're listening to the Draft in Hand podcast with your hosts, Greg, Ian, and Mark.
It's a little chilly outside, but talking about baseball somehow has its way of warming you up a little bit. Emotionally. Hi, everybody. I'm Greg. That's Ian.
Yo.
And Mark's over there.
Hey.
We have Noah, Mark's brother, joining us, talking some baseball today.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope everyone's well. Since we're launching our podcast in December, baseball games aren't exactly around the corner. But with winter meetings, virtual winter meetings, having just taken place, why not? And to be honest, we didn't want to launch our show just with a handful of episodes about hockey. So here we are. Guys, are you going to miss those cardboard cutouts we saw around the baseball diamond this year?
Some of them were pretty creative.
Some of them are pretty great.
Some
Which team was it that had
the South Park?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wasn't that Denver?
It might.
Colorado?
I don't know if it was
Colorado makes sense.
I don't think it was a Rocky. It might have been the Broncos. So it might not have been a baseball team. But
Football team?
regardless.
Football?
Still funny.
Pretty sure football kind of fans.
Yeah.
Jays were good though. They had Geddy Lee back there and that old lady.
They had some creative ones.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun. I like the highlight packs where they had cardboard cutouts being hit by home runs.
Just take the heads off.
Yeah.
Just absolutely
Just
a
losing
piss
heads.
missile.
Because when are you ever going to see that again? Like, that's such a unique highlight reel. And like, if somebody finds that on YouTube in 20 years, assuming YouTube exists in 20 years, they're gonna be like, what is this? Like, say a 19-year-old.
YouTube's gonna be like the internet in 20 years.
YouTube basically
Wow.
is the internet now.
But people are gonna be like, what was going on back then? Like, what happened? What are all these things? So it's such
Let
a
me tell you, son, what 2020 was all about.
oh yeah, exactly.
Pull up your chair on the lemon tree.
Yeah, sit around the lemon tree. Okay, so we're going to be talking about some baseball. We're going to talk about MLB playoffs, the World Series, and we're going to get into some Jays stuff because we're from Toronto, so we're going to talk about some Jays stuff. So, guys, how did you find? What did you think of the playoffs this year, the MLB playoffs?
I thought it was probably one of the most entertaining playoffs in a long time for baseball. Well, every baseball playoff is entertaining, so kind of ate my own words there, but I thought it was very entertaining.
I thought it was exciting. Considering what it was, I enjoyed the new format they introduced with extra teams. It gave some other teams, especially like our Toronto Blue Jays, a chance to make a playoff run, have October a little more exciting.
I wish less teams went 2-0 though.
Yeah, that'd be nice, but you can only make it a certain way with
You just want to
pitching.
see as many games as possible.
Yeah, but like the
though.
old wild card was 1 and out, so it's like
Yeah.
the same shit.
Yeah, it was even fewer.
You just want to see, like, you can at least see 3 games as opposed to just 2.
You want a little more drama.
Well, you just want to see more baseball.
Yeah,
I
sure.
just want to see more baseball.
Selfishly, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Like your pitcher's arm.
Yeah. Well, what did you think of the playoff format itself? The Major League Baseball for the first time expanded to an 8-team format in each league.
Yes.
What did you guys think of that?
I liked it. It allowed more teams to get in. You get to see more players play in prime time.
The only problem I had is like the under 500 teams making it in.
The Houston Astros finding a way.
Fuck them.
Yeah, but it happens in almost every sport, though. Think how many times a friggin' football team makes the playoffs under 500 and still wins a round.
Yeah, because their division.
Eagles are going to get home field advantage, and they're not even going to win 6 games this year.
According to format, they're still the 8th best team in the AL, so
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
still
that is
deserve
also
that
true.
spot.
They still deserve
Yeah.
the spot.
Yeah, it was just kind of funny that they were like the 6th
They
seed.
finished 6th, but that's rules are rules. You can't fucking-
Rules is rules.
You can't argue. You cannot like them, but you can't argue with them.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I look at it the way I look at it sort of like the Major League Baseball's trying to create parity in the league.
You get to see more players play, though.
They're trying to create parity, but they're also not trying to get in a fight with the player association by reducing salaries by implementing a salary cap. Nor are they trying to start a fight with the owners of like the Yankees and Dodgers and all those teams that spend over $100 million. Like there's only those two to this year, but they don't want to get those owners angry. They're going to let them spend as much money as they want. And in the first round, you got to beat the Yankees twice, and only 2 times.
Yeah, that's it.
If assuming the Yankees are
Yeah, but if
top
the Yankees
seed.
are a wild card team, you only have to beat them once in last year's format or 2 years ago.
That's true. Yeah, I think
And the Yankees have been a wild. They haven't been the big bag Yankees since like last year.
they haven't been well.
they've been the big bad Yankees for a while.
For a while.
for the better part of this decade.
Yeah,
really.
like in baseball, like money doesn't mean shit in baseball, in my opinion. You can spend it, doesn't mean you're gonna win.
Well, obviously, look at how far Tampa made it.
Exactly.
There you go.
But then you count out that with the Dodgers spending over $100 million, and
Yeah, but 30 of that
Being
million
legit.
wasn't playing.
it's fair.
That's
Price.
yeah. Price did decide to say it is pretty amazing that they made it to the World Series without. It was either highest paid
Whoa.
pitcher, one of their top high.
As
one of
much
their
as
top
we all
pitchers.
hate Houston, they can all rot. Fuck them. But look how well they did without fucking Verlander.
Yeah,
They were one game away from going to the World Series.
Yep.
Who knows? Maybe you have Verlander in that game.
Yeah.
Well, if you have Verlander, he's pitching at least 2 games that series, maybe
Exactly.
3.
there you go. The last thing I'll say about the 8-team format is it just, to me, in my mind, I just try to wrap my head around the 3-game series in the first round. It just makes each game more important than a game in the World Series mathematically, based on one win in the first round is 50% way through the round. One win in the World Series or the Champion Series, the
ALCS.
ALCS or NLCS, it's
Sounds weird saying
it's-
it's a champion series. The
Yeah.
ALCS sounds so much like sexier.
so the one win is only 25% of the way through the round, so it's half. So just try to wrap my head around that is a little
That's too many numbers right now.
it's
I'm
one-
not doing no maths.
one win in the first round is worth twice as much and gets you halfway through the round compared to a quarter way through the round
It's only
later
the
on.
Oh
first
yeah,
round,
later on because you play more games.
Because just playing more games.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you're a football team, right? And you take the NFL field and divide it lengthwise into quarters. If you were between your own goal line and the 25-yard line, your 25-yard line, and if that represents the first round of the playoffs, you only get 2 downs. And then the next 25 yards from your 25 to half, you get 3 downs. And then the rest of the field, once you pass center, you get 4 downs.
I thought we were talking about baseball.
So
Man,
if you
that'd be
follow my
entertaining if
analogy,
football was
Ian,
like
if you
that.
follow the analogy, it's like early on in the, and I know they got to rest pitchers and you don't want them to
I'd
their
probably
arms to
watch more
fall off.
football if it was like that.
That would be really
That would make football
interesting.
That would
very
really-
interesting.
That'd be a wild format.
Yeah.
One of those next XFL leagues or
'Cause if
something
you think
comes
about
in.
it, you get a team punted down in their zone. They got one shot to get out of their.
You have
friggin-
one shot, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's sort of how I break down. Like, I love that there's 8 teams getting in, but there is also something a little bit different about Major League Baseball than just simply conforming to let's do it because everyone else is doing the 8-team format.
Yeah, that's what I feel like they kind of did.
Yeah, a little bit. They kind of sold out a little bit.
Yeah,
I
we're
think.
gonna be like baseball and hockey and basketball, but we're gonna do it a little differently to them.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball's also a sport played over 162 games. And
Right.
A lot could have happened the next 80 games on a full season because they only played 60.
Right.
Yeah, the
So I
Nationals could have won fucking 60 of the last 80 games. Like
Exactly,
They did
so I
they
think
won the
adding-
World Series or whatever.
Adding the extra team kind of added it because who knows, maybe Houston ends up winning the AL West
Yeah.
from being below 500.
Well, I think it's funny. So the Astros finished 2 games below 500, made the playoffs. Hypothetically, if they had won every round in the maximum games possible, they could have won the World Series at only being 2 games above 500.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting. That's like an interesting wrinkle. I don't know if it would happen, but
It's baseball; anything can happen.
anything can happen.
I feel like there's a
Anything's
lot of
possible.
teams though that make the playoffs in baseball that flirt around 500 that always go a couple rounds in.
There's
or
always
whatever.
one. There's always one.
It's all about
Yeah.
when you get hot, man. Especially in baseball.
I agree with that.
Especially for hitters, right?
Yeah. If you got a bat like Tampa had,
Like a Rosarina.
Randy,
you could run
Well,
you
you
right
want
through
okay.
the playoffs.
Let's move on to that. You guys want to talk about the World Series a little bit?
Yeah.
of course.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So, you guys entertained? That was pretty entertaining.
Congratulations, Kershaw.
Congratulations,
That's what I was about to
Kershaw.
say.
Monkey's off his back.
There you
Glad
go.
He finally got his ring.
Now I hope they never win again.
he's allowed one.
Yeah,
that's
that's,
it.
that's basically it.
Yeah. Now the Dodgers can just go back to losing in the second round or first round.
I'm
We're in
right.
the World Series.
Or
That's
in
fun
the
to
World
watch.
Series. They're good
No,
at
I don't
that.
want to see the Dodgers all the time. I want to see the Padres.
I want to see the Braves make it.
So do I.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just because I got Freddie Freeman.
Yep.
Yeah,
The Canadian content. Mark's bias.
a little bit.
We're all biased.
They got the pitcher kid too, Soroka.
There you
Mike
go.
Soroka.
Yep.
Good kid from Alberta.
Yep.
Actually, another guy friggin' Atlanta didn't have. They probably could have won a series or two if they had Soroka.
Easily.
Right.
He's one of the best times last year. Cy Young candidate. Pretty sure.
Who won Cy Young?
Last year or this year?
Both.
DeGrom and won it last year. Barrett won the NL this year. AL was...
This year was friggin' Bieber.
Yeah, it was Shane Bieber.
Yeah,
The year before that,
his,
didn't Snell
his
win 2
ERA
years
was
ago?
ridiculous,
Snell won
actually.
3 years ago.
Oh, 2 year Verlander. Wasn't it Verlander 2 years
Yes,
ago? Yeah.
Probably.
It's pretty good names.
Yeah, whatever.
yeah, whatever.
One place for the Astros.
And I feel like this topic's been well. First of all, Game 4 was I thought Game 4 was the best game of the series.
Yeah.
That's been talked about up and down
Look at the
the internet.
box score. Only in the second
100%.
inning, there was only one inning where there wasn't a run scored
Right,
between the two teams.
right. I feel like if the whole series had been like that, it would have been like must-watch TV constitly for everybody across
You're
the
not
board.
going to get that every game of baseball.
Was that
No, you can't.
was that the game with the error at the end?
That was a game where it was it a Rosarania lands on home plate and he's banging the thing. And
Yeah, the guy hits the bloops.
Yes, it was the
Brett Phillips.
the walk off. Yeah,
No, but which game was it that the guy tripped coming into home?
That was that one.
that was
that
one.
game.
Yeah,
that was with the field of errors.
the
There,
comedy
yeah.
of error. You couldn't write that. Like
No.
if that was written into a script, I'd turn the movie off.
Yeah.
I'd be like, this is ridiculous.
This is exactly.
This is
too Hollywood.
absurd
Yeah.
to be watching.
This doesn't happen in baseball.
Yeah. Well, okay. Oh my God, which quarterback was it this year in the NFL that was
Daniel Jones on the Giants.
free and clear, and he forgets
Trips
how
on the-
to run?
Stumbles on the 20-yard line, missing an easy touchdown.
That actually happened.
Yeah.
Yes. This was that, except he scored,
Yeah. What an idiot.
And it was also in the World Series.
and it was in the World Series, and it wasn't just the Giants
That's
because
some
wow,
Sunday afternoon football
Sunday
game.
after average Sunday
Week
afternoon football
8.
game exactly.
Meaningless.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck.
I thought it was priceless. Okay, so you know what? Well, what the incredible piece that the talking point for the World Series was, you had a team that was top of the league in salary. So
100 million. to
Dodgers
20.
105 million,
There you go.
and
Yeah.
versus the Tampa Bay Rays that are 28 million.
One of those.
That is what they are, one of the
Budget.
lowest.
I think they were 29th or something.
28th actually.
28.
28 million. And one of the engine of their offense, Randy Arozarena, 9 home runs. Tampa Bay wouldn't have made it nearly as far without him.
I think the rest of the team might have hit 9 home runs in the playoffs.
I don't even think they did.
Broke a bunch of rookie records.
Broke a bunch of MLB records.
And he's
That
not that
too.
he's not that young either, isn't he?
Youngish.
24? I
Oh,
think.
I thought he was like 27 or something.
Youngish.
No.
All right.
He's not a power. Traditionally, he hasn't been a power bat. He's more. He hits. He always hit for average.
Just average.
But he hasn't. He's not a big guy. He's
He
like
hasn't played much.
5'11".
Well, he was rookie. But yeah, he didn't play because he was with St. Louis before he went over to Tampa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. But I mean, you look at. Here, I'll pull up this article that I read. From
He reads, guys.
I read sometimes. Entering the World Series, the Rays have paid Arozarena $90,000 and change in 2020. That's part due to the shortened season and part due to his late arrival. So he had COVID early in the year, so I guess he missed a little bit.
That sucks, man.
Yeah. So anyway, the 90,000 though is a remarkably small number compared to the 10 million the Dodgers have paid Mookie Betts.
The Leafs were paying Cody Cece what for?
But when you look at those numbers, Randy Arozarena was being paid 1%, or was paid 1% of the amount that Mookie Betts was paid this season.
Yep.
Arozarena earned 1/100th of Mookie Betts's salary. That's,
He does it a couple more times and he can earn Mookie Betts' salary.
I guess so. But just, you're looking at a guy that would he have been Tampa's MVP if Tampa won the World Series?
Oh, easily.
Yes.
Easily.
The
100%.
MVP could have been so he made his if the assuming the season was proper length, he was due to make $575,000, I
Yeah, it's
believe,
about
this year.
the MLB rookie minimum.
Just in
I
comparison
think
to
it's 550.
to cross sports,
I don't
that's
know.
less than NHL minimum.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of money for a professional.
Yeah, but
It's
they don't
not.
have a cap at top end.
Well, no, but imagine the average. Look at the big salaries, like
No, and
signing
you're
pitchers
only
for
making
20.
that. You're only making that 500,000 if you're playing on the MLB team. If you get sent down to AA or AAA, you're making peanuts again.
Yeah, you're making $2,000 a month.
So it's
for
like it's
5 months of the
not
year.
It's like
like
a
it's
stipend.
just it's like your
Do you
base
get
salary.
do you
if you're
get
on the
living
team.
wages paid for at that
No.
point? No. So that's you
You
got
got your signing bonus from out of the draft, and then you get the $2,000 or less a month.
And then maybe you get a local deal at a used car dealership.
Yeah, basically.
Maybe make some extra change working car wash.
Yeah.
But you play 144 minor league games. Got much time to
And nothing for you.
clean some cars.
Yeah, exactly. And I think one of the interesting storylines was how close Major League Baseball was to utter disaster. So, who was it? Justin Turner tested positive for COVID.
Ginger.
Mid-game, the test results came back mid-game, and the next day, a few more people had on the team were tested positive for COVID. So
Is
MLB,
that confirmed? I never heard anything after.
I
never really looked into it.
I don't know if like MLB put a little bit of a hush on it, or
I'm sure they did.
but they were within 24 hours. They were one game away. They handed out their trophy, and then they were 24 hours away from a complete disaster. That would have been a PR nightmare. Like it's this 3-3 tie in the series. Imagine it being a 3-3 tie, and you got to wait 2 weeks, or half the one team can't play.
Not allowed to play.
Oh,
you got all the backup players come in for Dodgers then?
yeah, the minor
Probably
league.
still paid more than
I was
the
gonna
race
say
players.
that
Oh,
the
that
salary
would be
might be
interesting.
similar.
Yeah, exactly. It might actually be an even playing field in terms of dollars and cents.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, finally.
I think that's pretty. I mean, just getting out of there, Major League Baseball by the skin of their teeth. It almost seemed this year as if they didn't. The first month of the season, how many teams had tested positive?
Oh, there
Wasn't many-
Friggin' the Marlins were playing with like their double, like they had to sign some guys because they didn't have
Phillies
players.
were one of the early teams that got it too.
It almost seemed as if the playoffs were just going to be the
And the
16
Jays-
teams that were left. The
And
16
the
teams
Jays
that
never
that
had
made
any
it.
positives, but it seems like they were one of the teams that always got screwed over from other teams getting it.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of games against
Those
Phillies
seventh inning
and
games. See, that was
Miami.
weird in the season.
Well, meanwhile, they didn't have a home for the first 6 weeks.
Something like
They
that.
didn't have a home for the whole year.
Yeah,
they
well,
played
they
in
had
Buffalo.
Buffalo
Well, they made a temporary home. They put
for
up
like a month, and then
But they
had
were
to go
they were
to a
supposed to be
bubble.
just using
Yeah.
like other teams' domes or places.
Well, because they didn't realize they didn't decide on Buffalo as a location until
Late.
almost a week before training camp, or the week before the league's
The week before the actual season started.
first pitch.
Yeah.
First pitch. That was basically that week. And hey guys, away you go. They did a really good job making
Making
the
do.
diamond down there look like Rogers Center.
Made do with it.
Yeah, Salem Field looked pretty good.
Fuck you, Yankees.
Oh my, yeah, with the lights and the
Oh, the
complaining and
lights are
everything.
not bright enough.
Yeah,
So
well.
they're not a $4 billion franchise.
Oh well, okay. Well, speaking of the Blue Jays, what do you guys think of the season this year?
That's what I expected.
I feel like they did a little better than I expected
Yeah.
with
well,
all the young guys.
I expect them to be a team where they'd be on the either barely making the playoffs like they did, or just be on the cups with the players and the pitchers they had.
It's
I'm-
always hard in their division though too to be up there.
Yeah, because Tampa's found a way to just be good without doing anything.
Yeah,
You have
They just draft and
and then you have
develop and
Yankees.
just shit talent out for everybody else to scoop up 8 years down the road.
it's almost like why if they can do it, why can't anyone else figure it out?
Because why figure it out when you can just spend money on Tampa's guys?
Exactly.
Yeah, just dig your way out of
Same-
trouble with
Oakland
money.
the same way. People
Yeah,
steal their
Oakland-
guys.
Yeah, they just shit out
Moneyball.
players for the league, and then all the big market teams are just like, thank you, thank you, thank you.
So, okay, let's
Trade our guy. They'll develop their guy for them. Trade for the superstar, and then they'll sign their superstar back when they can't sign him when the guy gets developed from the team they traded him to.
Speaking of big guys, Hyun-Jin Ryu did a thing this year.
Cy Young finalist.
He did pretty well.
I think he was 8th in ERA.
Or in that
Something like
contract, really
that.
good. I think he probably
It's like 2.6 roughly.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could earn that contract.
It's only
Hope he
12
can-
starts though, right? So
Yeah, but short
He only
season.
had one bad start though. That was the first one he threw all year though.
Is that
He got
against
lit up.
Yankees?
I think he gave up like 7 runs in his first start with the Jays or something.
Just
He got
get
lit
it
up
out of the
pretty
way.
good.
It's
Exactly.
like the first hole on a golf course. Just
First
fire
and
it
the
right in
last,
the
he
woods.
gave up a bunch of runs in the final game against Tampa there, but there's a couple bad errors that.
Well, and it's even more impressive when you sort of look down what the Jays starting rotation was like over the course of the 2 months.
Not existent.
He was their only starter.
He's the only guy who
Everyone
showed
else
up
got
every.
injured.
He's the only guy who showed up every 5 days to work.
Everybody else.
Not that it wasn't like all the other problems with the injuries and all that bullshit. Not blaming any of the players.
Must be
but
nice just
He
to
was the
work
only
5
one
days.
who
Or once
was
every 5
healthy
days.
enough to pitch every 5 days, which is
Must be
pitchers
nice.
now is almost becoming like 1 in a million.
Yeah, stay healthy, be consistent. Like you said, one every 5 days.
It's a nice job.
Maybe even 6 if they get a day off.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe,
Make
yeah.
20 mil, work one every 5 days.
So
Better hope your team wins when you're getting that kind of money, though.
what kind of pressure does that put on the managing staff, Charlie Montoyo, having to roll out and juggle this pitching staff? You don't know who's pitching 4 days in a row. Like you gotta,
He was like drawing friggin'. He was like being a magician, like pulling shit out of a hat.
yeah.
It's basically what you had to do.
Didn't he have players pitch a couple games?
I think
Like
so.
just relieving.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
when
he
they were
might
getting their
have.
asses kicked. a
Yeah,
couple
games
Yeah.
are getting blown out of.
Yeah.
To just give the bullpen a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
That was the big narrative in Toronto this year with the Jays. Is the bullpen? I don't know if the bullpen was ever
If you're
fresh.
down 9 runs, what the fuck? Like, and you know you're not going to come back. What's the point wasting your arms?
Yeah, well, they had a couple good relievers
I know it's a
too.
mockery
Bullpen
to the
also
game
had
in a
some.
sense, but
Wasn't our closer injured too?
Yeah, Giles
Oh,
was there for the
that's
majority of the
yeah,
season.
right off the bat. That was what, second game, second series,
And probably our second best starter to start with. Like Shoemaker was out early too.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Yeah.
he?
Yeah.
Giles came back. I'm pretty sure he got hurt again.
yeah. They had I mean, from a position player standpoint, you can roll out, 9 guys, but if you're putting together a pitching staff and trying to make that fit together, I feel like as a manager, that has to be one of the more challenging parts of.
You just never know what's going to
Of putting a
happen
season
day to
together.
day. Because like we've pitched in baseball, you and I. Like some days you're just like, man, I don't got it, but you still got to go out there and do it.
Try to compete. Try to minimize.
Yeah, like
That's why you play first base, right, Noah?
it's really
Exactly.
weird. Like
It's a little more simple.
I felt like the Jays had more consistent guys in their pen this year that like had it.
Which guys?
Romano,
Yep.
that
Okay.
Merriweather kid, he was friggin' wicked.
Yes. Yeah. That was his major league debut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. He did really well.
Nate Pearson figured out once he got his nerves down.
Right?
He's got to stay healthy, though.
Yeah, Anthony Kay was good. And
He was a
like
big trade that I really liked through the season.
Which one?
Getting K.
from
getting K.
Stroman,
Yeah.
like his glasses.
Reminds me of Brett Cecil.
Yeah.
Oh, kind of. Yeah, a little Brett Cecil
Little
throwback.
Brett Cecil comeback.
That's right. So, okay, so heading into 2021.
Just like, remember watching some Jays pitchers and you're just like, you're stressed out just watching them run in from the bullpen. You're just like, oh man, we're not getting out of this sitting safely.
Oh, you got the
This
nerves,
year?
Mark. That's when you start reaching for a new mug of beer.
This year, it didn't really like,
reaching for
maybe
the
that
fridge.
Yamaguchi guy, only time, like, he was
Yeah.
the only pitcher that came in and I was like, uh-oh.
Here comes
Yeah,
Four
but he
runs.
threw some nasty
He
stuff.
threw some nasty shit, but
He had a lot of control issues.
yeah.
Let the walks and it's never a good
Was this his
sight.
first season in
I think it was
the
his first
bigs?
season in North America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's
He's
came
from
over from
Japan.
Japan.
Right. Yeah. So hopefully in the off season he gets a little bit of time to figure it out. And there was there was so much pressure on the bullpen, like I said, that
Oh,
he didn't
pitching
have
every day.
he didn't have a chance to
they-
iron out the kinks.
A
Really.
lot of the Jays bullpen pitchers were probably put in spots they never thought they were going to be put in this year.
they were starters, spot starters.
Spot starters. You're going out there, start the game. Friggin', you're going to pitch 2 days in a row. You're going to spot start the first game, and you're going to pitch 3 innings the next day.
Right. Right. Okay, so if we're looking ahead to 2021, what does the Blue Jays rotation look like in your eyes?
I don't know. You got Ryu.
Rio's at the top.
Pearson,
Yep.
then you got Rourke. And then you got
It's-
Robbie Ray.
You got Stripling in there too.
Yeah.
Strictly. But, like, all these guys, like, they're...
And that's almost like a
None of
mixed
them were
bag.
pitching, like, 7 innings. Like when you think of a starter in baseball, you think of a guy that's going to consistently like push his 6-7 innings.
I mean, well,
And that's Ryu.
well, hold on.
That's like the only one on the Jays thing there is probably Ryu, if you really think about it.
Unless of course you're the Tampa Bay Rays and you pull your pitchers out after 18 batters.
Yeah.
That's a tough call.
Yeah, but the line is scary the third time through.
But the chart
The
said
big
this
bad
thing.
bats always hit the ball when you see the guy pitcher three
Who
times.
was it that they pulled in that last game?
Blake
Snell.
Blake
Snell,
Snell.
and he was
Cy Young
pitch-
winner.
Yeah,
He was he
But
was pitching so well.
manager of the
I
year
remember
because
Mark losing it when they did that.
the world lost it, Ian. The internet lost
The
it.
memes were hilarious.
It was rough.
No, I just like if it worked last year for the most part, and I guess you can't assume you're gonna have. You always assume you're gonna have less injuries than you did the year before.
Right. You
And
have
assuming
to.
that if the Jays are being more healthy, they signed a pitcher or two in the offseason to make them a little bit better. You have
Right.
to assume their pitching rotation is going to be even better than it was last year.
You hope so.
Because they'll be also put in more of a comfortable situation where they're not pitching out of their regular mindset. And they're also like have a regular home back in Toronto, hopefully. Oh no, they're playing in Tampa this year. No, that's the Raptors.
Yeah, I
hopefully.
don't
We haven't figured that out.
Yeah.
We haven't got that far.
Fuck, hopefully they're able to play here all year.
Well, we'll
might
see.
be back to Buffalo.
I would not be surprised if it was
It just sucks not having like the players
Back
probably
to
feel like
Buffalo.
not having that professional accommodations in the just the clubhouse.
for 2 months.
The
It
club-
was one thing.
Yeah,
For 2
but
months
for
you
a
could
full
kind of grit and
year,
bear
'cause
it.
you don't get your massage tables, you don't get all that food catering, you don't get
You get that
Well, you
special
do, but
treatment.
it's just not the level at which you were used to
no
elsewhere.
But it's not luxury like it is at the Rogers Center
No.
or Sky Dome.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
so
not the Rogers Center.
okay, so let's go to the other side of the plate here, and let's talk about the lineup, the kids. Who do you guys want to talk about first?
Boba Fett's good.
Boba Fett.
Yeah,
Boba Fett.
he needs to work on his throws to first base.
Mark,
though.
so Mark, you dug up some stats.
Yeah, he's not that good at playing defense.
Not that. What was his fielding percentage?
His career fielding percentage right now through, I guess, an abbreviated.
He hasn't played a full
season,
MLB season.
Almost a full season with the 2 years he's played.
Hold on, almost a combined
Full-
162 games because he was called up last year
Yeah.
and he didn't play a full season. They played like 2 months.
2.5
So
months, something like
in
that.
the 2 years he hasn't actually.
9.64 fielding percentage.
So
as
through-
a shortstop.
So hold on. So not through a full year yet. He has a.
And 9.64. If you're a goalie, that's pretty good.
It's amazing. It's unreal.
It's unreal. But as a shortstop,
So what is a typical shortstop? A major league shortstop. What's his fielding
what's it usually
percentage?
around, Noah? 990?
985 and up.
Yeah.
I take your Gold Glover.
985.
You have guys in the MLB like Andrelton Simmons, Baez, Lindor, all probably in the 99s, I think.
Right.
Fuck Lindor.
You have
Lindor only made one error all season last
Yeah.
year. Bichette made 7.
So hold on. So
Bichette
Bichette.
was injured majority of the year, too.
So if Bichette made 7 errors this year, that's basically 1 error every week. Ouch.
Would your baseball coach be pissed at you if you made an error every week, Noah?
I mean, if you're hitting 300, you can kind of look past that a little bit.
Yeah, but it's still not good, though.
Right.
No.
Right. So I mean, for Bichette, his numbers offensively, he was down a little bit this year, but not by a lot.
I
He's
wouldn't
still
even
above.
say he was down offensively because he came back. I think he broke his hand, right?
I don't remember.
Something like that. Yes.
I don't think he probably came back still bruised, and it was probably hard to swing a bat when he came back.
Or he was just on fire last year. You tip your cat to him.
Did you see when he was back before he got hurt? He was leading the league in AL in batting average this
Yep.
year.
Yeah. And then, I mean, and again, it's 2 months, right? So you can
Yeah,
slump
it's
for
2
2 months.
months,
Or
yeah.
you can slump for a month and it doesn't really hurt you.
No.
But when that's half the season. So I think this is sort of a recurring theme for anybody who had a little bit of a down year. It's if you're going to have a down year early in your career, don't you just want it to be the pandemic one where there were no fans and
It's short season.
shortened season?
You can't really argue your stats.
No. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I had a bad month, which happened to be half the season.
Quick turnaround from sitting around
Oh,
Not-
sure.
they're probably not sitting around. They're professional athletes, but from not being that consistent basis to 2 weeks of training camp to
That routine.
straight into baseball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
baseball's all about fucking routine.
So what do you guys want to see from this year?
I don't know.
I want to see Austin Martin play baseball.
Playoffs again.
Dingers.
Oh, there'll be a lot of those with the Chase this year. man.
Right. But
Holy
but
shit.
from Bo Bichette, what do you want to see from Bo Bichette this year in 2021?
I don't know. Bat around 290, hit 20 home runs, field better.
Sure. Yeah, basically the defense, right?
Yeah.
You're okay if the bat cools off a little bit.
Drop,
Like, it doesn't. You don't need your shortstop hitting 300. If
No.
your shortstop's hitting 300, man, you got a fucking
It's-
damn good shortstop.
That's gravy.
Yeah.
drop the arrows from 7 to about 4.
Like, we've been kind of, like, spoiled as Jays fans with some fucking damn ass sexy infielder play. Like,
Yes, we have.
holy
We've also had
fuck.
Jose Reyes.
Jose Reyes was a damn good shortstop, though.
He's
for a
also
little bit.
got a big 5-hole.
We also got to watch Tulo, even though he's injured.
Yeah,
Johnny
Tulo was
Mac.
disgusting.
Yeah,
Defensively.
yeah.
Alex Gonzalez was sick when we were kids.
You're right, though. You know what? The Jays' defense has always seemed to be really good.
Remember Aaron Hill, Johnny Mac turning those double plays up the middle?
That was the early 2000s, mid
Fun middle.
up to 2010, maybe.
That was those double plays were so nasty.
We always seem to have an incredible middle infield.
Yeah,
Guys like Berto Alomar way back in the day.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, we're going way back, but yeah, way back.
Before
Oh my
us.
gosh, and Tony Fernandez,
yep, I think so.
incredible. So
We've been like,
we've been spoiled.
yeah,
So we expect excellence now.
like it almost like when you like think of Jays like shortstop, you don't like you think of guys who are like Bo Bichette is insanely talented. He's made some incredible plays defensively. He just made too many errors.
Just polish it up a little bit.
Yeah, just made too many errors.
I
Right.
mean, if he,
Like he can get to some balls that some players can. He's made some crazy plays.
if he
Right.
makes 7 errors next year in the full
That's amazing.
162 game season, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll take that. And
Yeah.
He still hits close to 300.
Sure. How about a guy named Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? What do you guys
I'm
think about him?
excited with him for the upcoming season. I think he's lost 20 pounds already
yeah. You did that last year though.
this thing. If he can keep that down, I've seen reports of him playing a lot more third base next year.
That's what they mentioned at the end of this past season, that they wanted him to move him. The first base was kind of an experiment. It was a little tough for him, footwork and pop flies and whatnot. But it seems as though they want to put him on third base.
I mean, if he keeps his weight
Going
down
forward.
like he's lost and he seems more agile, I don't see why he couldn't play third base next year.
Right.
Who was playing third this year mostly?
It was mostly.
Who was it, third baseman?
It was sort of a rotating cast, wasn't it? They didn't really have like a set third baseman.
I feel like I saw someone there most games.
Yeah, I mean, you could throw someone like Biggio there.
Was Biggio
No,
there?
Biggio
he was
was
playing
at second
second.
most of
Or
the time.
he played outfield a
He played-
couple
He
of
played-
times.
played
quite a bit of
outfield as well.
Bijou played short a couple times too. First,
Yes, well, they brought
Well,
in.
maybe when Bichette was injured too, right?
Yes, they had to do some patchwork there.
I like Biggio.
But Vladdy, I mean, again, numbers down. Slugging percentage was up a little bit though, actually, over the shortened season.
Just be patient with that kid, man.
I think
he's got all the tools to be like
Yeah, what is he,
legit,
20?
like the
Yeah.
best hitter in the
19, you got
NHL, in the
20-year-old
MLB.
kid.
It just wait, The Jays are so like the Jays coach like hitting coaches and stuff are so good at figuring these people out, these like batters out. Like, look what they turned Donaldson into, an MVP, even though he was on his way to go up there.
Yeah,
Like,
they gave him that extra boost.
Encarnacion was a friggin' project. Remember when he
They
first
turned
came
him
over
right
to the
around.
Jays?
So is Bautista.
Encarnacion couldn't throw a ball from friggin' third base. He couldn't hit a barn. He couldn't hit water if he fell out of a friggin' boat.
Bautista was
baseball.
atrocious coming over from the Pirates.
They turned all their swing. Like they see this swing in these guys, and they turn it all like that step and swing.
Yep.
That they teach they're teaching all these players is fucking. It's the new swing in baseball. Like, I think the way pitching is becoming now. I think it's going to turn back where it is now, where it's just the home run is just going to exist for the long time again, because it's coming now where it's so hard to manufacture 3 hits in an inning,
To put 3 hits together consecutively.
where it's
almost.
easier just to get one run, just
And-
hitting one out of the park now.
Plus, you got defenses shifting on every guy.
And if the way the the way like the Jays are teaching these kids how to hit the ball, a lot of them don't try to take the ball the other way unless they're really good, like Biggio,
Right.
because a lot of them don't really have the back control. Doesn't look like they do that. But man, like when you're constantly raking the ball 100 miles per hour to
Exit velocity.
your friggin' whatever way you hit.
Yep.
A lot of guys aren't going to be able to stop that ball when it comes at them.
No.
Or it's just going to go right by them.
A lot of 5-holes are ripping it by guys. Well, I mean,
So I'm just to be patient. Look what they've done with Gritrick since he's got here, and what he was doing last year.
turned it around. Yeah, and another guy, Vladdy's another guy where if you know what, if this was happened to be a little bit of a down season for him, if it did, it's a pandemic one.
Who cares?
Let's see what he does next year and the year after.
And my thing
He's
is, like,
22. He's young. Like he's.
how many times have we seen the Jays in the playoffs in our lifetime?
Oh, not many.
Twice.
Exactly. So like,
I've
let's
seen
just
them
be
win
happy
the
they
World
were there.
Series twice in my
Yeah,
lifetime.
but that doesn't
But I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like I've seen the Jays in the World Series. I was born in '92. Doesn't count when they were blah blah blah. But
Yep.
We've seen them twice in my lifetime. 28 years old, seen them twice.
right.
Like, let's just like, if you're gonna I can't find something to complain about if you make the playoffs.
No. Okay, you wanna talk about Bichette a little bit? No, sorry,
we did.
Biggio. Let's
Biggio?
talk about Biggio a little bit.
Biggio?
Yeah.
He's got the best eye
Yeah.
on the Jays.
He's never gonna bat 300. But man, that guy is never. He's never gonna have like a bad game.
His plate vision is
Like he'll go 0 for
Unreal.
4,
Mm-hmm.
but like he'll get on base, like he'll go 0 for 4 with a walk, and that one walk he'll get on, he'll steal second base, he'll do something to like just screw around with the pitcher, or he'll do some crazy outfield, like just make some insane play. He just always figures out a way to like do everything right, like
And not just at the plate. You can
everything.
plug
like,
him almost everywhere
Like,
on the field.
he's got power.
It's like
too.
It's like our own Ben Zobrist.
Yeah. Well, sort of a jack of all trades or a Swiss Army knife batter
Oh, yeah.
and position player.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, where would you plug him in a lineup? Like, where do you kind of see him?
Like batting,
Yeah,
probably middle
Two-hole?
bottom half.
I see him on a 2-hole.
sure.
He gets on base enough, though. I just don't think I think a guy like that, because his on base is so high and his average isn't as high as like.
Yeah, but if he's
Because if you got a guy that can steal and still get on base at the bottom of the order, it just works for your top of the order even
yeah,
better.
but or you can have him getting on base for your top of the order early in games.
Yeah, I
put
get that. But if
pressure.
you have a guy with 280 average with an on base just a little lower than him, wouldn't you rather that up there because you're going to get more hits?
Yeah, 375 on base on base.
you really can put BG anywhere except
Exactly.
for, say, the
That's what I
middle.
mean. Wherever you put him, he's going to friggin'.
It almost depends on the rest of your lineup. If you have a really strong rest of the lineup, he's 8. And if
Yeah,
you
no, that's
need
what
it,
I mean.
he's
If
2.
you got guys who can rake in your top 5, there's no point to have him up there.
Right, because you know he can do anything anyway.
Yeah.
The only players I just don't see him is 3 to 5,
Yeah.
Right, which are
Like-
almost taken care of anyway.
basically.
Yeah. Do you guys want to go on to one of our outfielders? And those are the big 3. So Vladdy, Bichette, and Biggio are sort of the big 3 that everybody talks about. But right in there, right in that mix as well, is Lourdes Gurriel Jr.
Was it 2 years ago he was on pace for over 40 home runs?
Yep,
He was doing well this year, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was on fire too this year.
doing pretty well. Yeah, you know what? All of his numbers were up. He was averaged 308, which 277 last year. So his average was way up.
277 is still very respectable.
Yeah, but then you go to 308.
Yeah.
Like
But the thing
That's-
is, though, like,
smaller sample size.
if he's at 285 next year, you're more likely to see him at 285 than you are to see him over 300.
And 285, no complaints
Most
either.
likely. No.
Exactly.
On base, he was flirting with a 350 on base, and his on base plus slugging was up as well.
It's also
Uh,
guys
882.
could produce
Like, for me-
25 home runs a year.
I can't say somebody's gonna bat over 300 unless they do it more than once. Like it's something you gotta like prove you can do.
Yeah, everybody's gonna have one good year
Yeah.
once in a while.
Shortened season too, so
Exactly,
you never know.
shortened
You
season.
could go up or down, but in baseball, the way it goes, the pitcher usually wins most of the battles.
I mean,
so.
you consistently hit 300, you're considered a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's how hard it is to hit 300
Exactly.
consistently.
Yeah, but looking at his numbers,
Yeah.
they're all trending up this
I know.
year.
Trending.
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 How
But
about
there's these things called injuries and random shit happening
all
and
sorts
cold
of things.
streaks and
COVID.
COVID.
Last one we're gonna talk. This is sort of the core.
I
of
do
the
hope
team.
he hits 330 with like 55 home runs and 122 RBIs.
He's not Mike Trout.
Yeah, but Mike Trout's gonna finally have his breakout year and have like 75 home runs.
Yeah, that'd be so ridiculous.
How about another guy? Also sort of a breakout season here. Teoscar Hernandez.
Learn to catch a fly ball.
Yeah, you got to learn to catch a fly ball, hit the cutoff, man.
Right. But
Offensive. I mean, if he's gonna do what he does,
He made that
like
nice. He's the guy who made that nice catch though in the playoffs though, against Tampa Bay, right?
I don't remember.
Where he like caught it like going over the friggin' wall, go crashing down.
I've
think that
also
was
seen
him.
Probably every. Major
But man,
league
he's got to learn how to hit
outfielder
a
do that.
cutoff man and catch a fly ball.
yeah, a little fundamental baseball. But you know what?
It's
That-
like
that can be
Bichette. You
taught a
take
little
the
bit.
errors with the bat.
a 919 slug
I
on
know.
base plus
I know.
slugging.
It's like Bichette. You take the errors with the friggin' bat.
Silver Slugger.
What did he win Silver Slugger? I think so. It was yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean,
You can't take awards away from somebody.
no. If you if you got to plug him in
Unless
the
you cheat
outfield,
and do steroids, but
I know they got Talas do sort of in the DH slot, but I mean, if Hernandez is a bit more of your DH, you know, they
it
shift
makes
some
Talos
people around.
expandable if you can get an actual first baseman.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like the guy deserves to be in the big leagues full time with his bat.
Absolutely. I mean, well, yeah. If you're above 900 on base plus slugging, like no one's
You can't complain about that.
no one's complaining about that.
No.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. Anybody else you guys want to talk about? We got some good catching depth. Yeah, for the first time in a long time. Remember? Okay, so back in 2015, we had a catcher named Russ Martin,
Yep.
and the conversation in Toronto was
Canadian kid.
basically, what are we doing for a backup catcher? What are we doing for a fifth starter? So it was pretty incredible that like you're complaining. You have this video game team, so much depth at almost every position. The batting order was stacked, and the complaints were catching depth. Who's going to be our backup catcher?
Well, people are always going to find things to complain about, but I forget who the backup catcher was that year. Oh, I can't remember his name.
It was the guy that caught R.A. Dickey.
No, not Tolley. The other one. No, I can't remember his name.
Big Love. He caught the.
No,
he caught-
he didn't catch Dickey. It's really annoying me. I can't remember his name.
That's fine.
But he was solid that one year we had him when I think it was the 2015
Oh,
year.
I remember who you're talking.
He's kind of got the Tellez body type.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's driving. Mark's gonna pull up on his phone. Mark will pull it up for us. But now you know what they have.
Oh, Deoner Navarro.
Yeah,
Yes.
Navarro.
Yeah, no, we had Navarro for a few years. That guy was clutch.
Yeah, he was a solid backup
Remember
catcher.
when Benji Molina got a triple?
That was out of control. That was wild.
Yeah, like we had Navarro back when we had Martin, who wasn't horrible, but
Navarro was clutch,
he had
and he
good
caught
at
a good
bats,
game too.
so he was solid. But yeah, I like our catching depth now. We have
Any
all our catchers are solid defensively.
Yep.
Offensively, struggle a little bit.
Kirk's got a bat though.
Kirk got a bat.
But, yeah, but
Alejandro Kirk.
I personally don't see him playing over Jansen.
No, well, he wouldn't be a regular catcher.
Exactly.
He's almost a guy that you could convert and put him on first, maybe
It's a possibility.
to get his bat in the lineup.
if he
Or or it's a guy they just start like keep showcasing and to trade for another.
trade asset.
To be,
Trade
to
down
be
the
a
line.
piece. To be a piece. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I'd rather take a solid defensive catcher over one that's going to hit 300, like
Yeah,
270.
you brought something up. Which catcher was it that kept missing? There was so many pass balls. Was it Yankees catcher?
Oh
Gary
yes, we were
Sanchez?
when
Was it
while,
Sanchez?
Gary Sanchez.
yeah
Yankees
while
catcher.
watching the playoffs this year, there just seemed to be they came in bunches. All of these passed balls
Gets in their head.
would roll, and they'll clench. They'll be clumped together.
You don't see many
It was
catchers
incredible.
who can be really good offensively, but also be solid defensively.
That's
Takes a
really
lot of
hard to do.
skill.
The only two
Buster
I can really
Posey.
think of are Posey, Molina, probably the two
Real
most recent.
Real
Muto,
Muto's
he's-
really good.
He's also one of those guys. He's been unreal.
Like Salvador Perez has no bat, but he's probably the best catcher in the league.
Yeah, he's multiple. He's multiple.
He's
Gold
won the
Glove
Gold
winner.
Glove like the last 5 years or something.
He's been unreal. But yeah, not many catchers you see doing both.
Joe
No.
Mauer was a god at
When
it.
Joe Mauer was healthy,
Yeah, MVP,
was-
batted 360 that year.
he was a guy who could do both. But
Well, so if you're doing that, you have to be on for 3 hours straight
You can't-
every night.
Yeah,
Like it's not like if you're a position player in the if you're an outfielder, you can sort of turn your brain off in the outfield for a little
well,
bit.
when you come back to the bench, you can turn your brain off too if you know you're not up to bat in like 8th. When you're the catcher, you still got to be like on
That's what I mean.
the pitcher.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you got to be you're taking care of your pitcher,
You got to be ready 2 outs.
and exactly you're always. I don't want to say you're always on edge. You get used to it, but you're always on. You come back, it's like okay,
Yeah.
you're up soon in the order, and then you're back out there with your catcher. Whereas if you're a
Or-
position player, you can't. You know what I mean? You can kind of turn your brain
you got
off a little
somebody
bit.
that can pick up everything for you. Catcher, you got to run back in. Say if you're on second or like you get thrown out going for a W, and then you're the third A, you got to run back into the dugout, quickly get your shit on.
Have a quick sip of Gatorade.
But the
Honestly,
thing is, but by the time you're sat down, like catching for your pitcher again, you're not calm again, because you're like go go go.
yeah, honestly, like the knees, it just looks painful watching them sit like that and twist their ankle and like be in that position for that amount of time
Yeah,
as
it's a
well.
pain in the
takes a
ass.
toll.
Build a relationship with the umpire.
Yeah, well,
I mean, catchers, even if you go to the dugout, you're not up the bat. You're with the pitching coach, analyzing the next 2 hitters up,
Yeah, exactly.
game plan.
You're
Yeah.
not. You're not. You're less focused on you. You don't even get to watch the pitcher pitch, so you don't even know what's. You're like. You're barely
Exactly.
ready when you get up to bat.
So, does anybody have anything else to add on the current Jays here? No? Pretty good?
Nothing. You just don't know who really is going to be the closer next year is. Unless
You
they
still
give
have
it
some
to one
open
of the
spots.
kids. Give it to one of the kids.
I'd give it to Romano.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on the list for
You
sure.
need to give it to a guy who can
still
chuck
got
fire.
5 months.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You still have lots of time. So we're gonna throw it to our off-topic segment here. We're gonna call it the 7th inning stretch around here. Ian's got a story for us. Ian,
All right, so this story is about baseball, not off topic. It was during playoffs, or even might have just been regular season baseball this year. I don't remember. Me and Mark were in the garage watching baseball, and I asked Mark, "What do you think is the I guess second or third most thrown pitch after fastball and changeup?" And I'm like, "What do you think it is? Like a curveball, a slider, a breaking ball?" And then Mark's like, "Yeah, it's probably curveball." And I'm like, "How do you even throw a breaking ball?" He's like, "A breaking ball is just a pitch that moves." That's how I learned what a breaking ball is.
The announcers use it when they don't know what pitch the pitcher threw.
Exactly. They just it's like, what do you call that? Like a lump sum of pitches.
It's
like-
called a guess.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a breaking ball right there. It's just like, well, what's that? I don't know. I thought it was an actual separate pitch. And I learned something. It
Nice.
isn't.
nice. Thanks, Ian. That's a little bit of a learning experience. But it's true. Like I feel like you listen. There's so many people that watch baseball casually, and they sort of kind of know what some things are, but maybe they don't know what everything is. So that breaking ball could very well be like,
Well,
how do you hold a breaking
come
ball?
on.
Well,
like you
it
see them
is-
like, oh, there's the fastball, there's the changeup, there's the slider, there's the curveball. That was another breaking ball.
It's like when you're
another
playing-
breaking ball. It's like, what's a breaking ball?
Yeah.
It's like when you're
Yeah.
playing in a league where people don't know what infield fly is, like those beer leagues.
Oh, because there's an incredible
I just
number of
never
people.
played baseball at a competitive level where they had to know what the rule is.
Or
Yeah,
they
that
don't
is-
watch
Yeah.
baseball; they just play the sport. And I feel like that's
Well,
that, you can
that
say
as
that
well.
about
I've
almost any
never
men's
played
league.
baseball. I played softball when I was maybe like 8 or 9 for like a season or two, and then
Elementary school.
that was it.
There you go. So, okay, we're gonna go to a little bit more up to date. We're gonna talk about some of the rumors. So, first of all, as far as I've heard, the Jays are in on every single free agent there is.
They want someone.
They've talked to every single player.
Might as well be.
That's
you
what
have
I've heard.
the space,
Did they
the
call
cap
them
to
on their
do
cell
it.
phone?
They also have the money. Yeah.
Yeah, you have the money to do it. You're not paying too many
Rogers
guys
is fucking rich.
multi-million-dollar contracts.
So, what do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to go through a list player by player? Do you want me to throw out some names? You guys can just spin some stuff, or
Honestly, I don't pay much attention. The only one I've heard is like George Springer.
George Springer. Okay, let's go with that first. What do you guys heard about George Springer? Jays. Is he a good fit? Does he make sense?
Fit the outfield, but I don't know how Jays fans would feel having an ex-Astro.
I don't care that he's next. I just don't like the fit.
Why don't you like the fit?
Because our outfield is pretty well set. You have Gurriel, you have Grikic, you have Hernandez, you have a guy like Austin Martin who can play the outfield, who's a top.
You're adding a commodity you don't need.
Exactly.
Basically, yeah. Oh, yeah, I get that.
You know, he might be nice for the year, maybe 2, but then
But after that,
he's not.
his value to the Jays exclusively isn't there.
He's not going to want to sign for 1 or 2 years.
If
Exactly.
they were on a playoff run, he might be someone you trade for at the deadline or something.
Yeah, if he was a 1 year, maybe 2 year contract guy left, I'd trade for him, but a guy to sign for probably 5 years,
Right.
it's just
Right. I mean, he does the piece he does bring that the Jays don't really have is a veteran, playoff tested bat,
yeah, and it's a guy who just can show some experience.
and he is a best in class UFA. Like he's at the top of the list in terms of like UFA batters, position players. So he does that. But why would you go out and reach for the stars for something that like you don't need him? If you got him, like you guys aren't going to be upset if we get him.
no,
If the Jays sign him,
Of course not. They're going to make the team automatically better.
yeah,
yeah. And you know what? And you can figure out where Grichuk goes or where Gurriel Jr. or Hernandez or any of these other outfielders. You'll make space for him, but he's just not at the top of your list.
no.
No, exactly. I prefer getting somebody like Bauer.
Somebody like Bauer. You want to talk about Bauer next, Mark?
Yeah,
All right.
He's a great follow on Twitter.
Love him.
Is
Love
he?
his social
Oh, yeah.
media.
He is such a troll.
One of the favorite players in baseball.
Also, I don't know how Jays fans really think to him because remember he cut his finger. He was the pitcher who was supposed to start against the Jays for Cleveland, where he sliced his finger open on the drone. He was fixing his drone and the propeller, and it cut his finger open.
That was a couple years
and
ago.
he started that game and he had to leave because his finger was getting blood all over the ball.
Oh
I'd
my
be grateful
gosh.
if I were Jays fans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
his
so
pants
that-
were like covered in blood.
Yeah.
I remember that.
But I
He's
would.
been one of the best pitchers in the league the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even have to tell you about his stats.
Didn't someone tell us he
Did
was
just
like
win the Cy Young in the National League?
wasn't he like commentating over like some of the playoff games this
Yeah.
year?
Yep.
Like on YouTube? Yeah, it was like live streaming.
I watched it.
I heard it was pretty awesome.
I mean, I think he hit the Jays' biggest need too, which is pitching,
Pitching, yeah.
especially starting pitching.
I think every
He's an
team in the
inning eater
league,
too.
every team in the league could use Trevor
Yeah.
Bauer.
100%. And
30
having a
teams
Ryu Bauer or Bauer Ryu 1-2 punch.
it would make Charlie Montoya's job a lot
And you
heck of
think
a lot
about it-
easier.
You think about it. That's almost 500 innings too, because both those
Yep.
guys are pitching over 200 innings.
You know,
Such a luxury.
Oh yeah.
You know, you go
Oh yeah.
full season. That's at least minimum 30 wins between two guys.
Exactly. You should automatically be in the playoffs if that happens.
And the thing is, he's really the big fish on the pitching side. Really like the right-handed power. The free agent market kind of drops off after Trevor Bauer. So here's a couple other names that are out there on the pitching front. You got Tajon Walker.
I liked him with the Jays. What I noticed with him, once calls in a little bit doesn't start going his way, he gets really into his own head.
Oh,
He's got some of the when he was I knew who this guy was, but I never saw him really pitch. Then I watched him pitch. Some of the most like electrifying stuff I've seen.
It can dance.
Like it's fast and it cuts late. But as soon as he doesn't get a call or two, like he gets really into his own head
Rattled.
and he gets really wild and I wouldn't say overthrows, he underthrows and the pitch just planes out.
He just tries to spot up instead of
Yeah.
actually pitches.
Exactly.
Do you feel
'Cause
like if he wanted to? Do you feel like if he wanted to re-sign with the Jays, he would have already?
No.
No, I
think a lot of guys, if they wanted to sign, they would have signed by now.
That's what I mean. If they wanted to sign with the Jays, or if they wanted to sign with anybody, they would have signed with their teams.
I think a lot of guys are also waiting to see what Bauer signs for.
Yeah.
Kind of set
true.
that price.
Set the market.
Say, oh,
Sorry, you wanted to say something on Walker?
Oh, I forgot.
Mark, I see the hamster's turning in there.
Because like once Bauer signs for his 25 million or whatever or more,
You can put it in perspective after that
you can
point.
be like, okay, so he's worth that. Now you kind of have an idea or understanding what all these other guys are gonna, all the other pitchers are gonna be kind of worth.
How about a guy like Masahiro Tanaka?
I love him. He's such a good pitcher, man.
I
hated him on the Yankees.
He's crafty as hell. He's a guy I wouldn't mind having either. I wouldn't mind Jay signing Tanaka.
We already got a couple.
Just to say fuck you to the Yankees.
Yeah.
I mean, he's also a guy who's going to win you quite a few games.
I've heard the Yankees are...
Weren't the Jays big? No, that was Darvish the Jays were big on before he came here.
I've heard the Jays... Sorry, I've heard the Yankees have a little bit of money issues this year. Like, they've cut some budget. They have an internal budget now.
That's the same with I was reading a little earlier, and that's the same with Lindor. That's why Indians want to get rid of Lindor before opening day.
Just because of money.
Money issues.
Dollars and cents.
They probably owe him a big signing bonus the day after the season starts that they don't want to pay.
That could be a big factor too. They want to
know
get him
how the
out.
Leafs take on like guys like that who gets from teams to like help them out, who get the big signing bonus like the day the season
Just take
starts.
the cash hit.
And friggin', that's one of the things I guess Rogers can afford it though.
Well, and they haven't been paying the roster hasn't been. I don't think they've been paying up to their max potential team salary. So I guess they got to have some. They got to be sitting on some money.
I mean, you got a lot of guys on the roster who are making.
Look at what it was when
$600,000 a year.
What was it when they got to the CS those 2 years? It was over $100 million.
Yeah, they can flex.
It was up there.
They can be right up there with the rest of them if they want to be.
Like
I don't think it was up to 100, but I think it was like 85, 90 million.
Dickey.
Yeah.
They're up to like probably like 90 million.
Yeah.
They were paying.
Yeah, they
Batista
definitely.
Encarnacion.
Martin.
Well, and
Ben Revere
the pitching
sick.
staff.
Yeah, they said Price Dickey.
Yep.
You had Tulo on that
Stroman.
payroll.
Ace.
Stroman and Sanchez were getting paid peanuts though.
Were they?
Time.
Yeah, they're still young.
Yeah.
So was Osuna.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple other names out there. So again, after Bauer, there is a bit of a drop off.
The Jays are on like the same timeline when they were last. They got all these young kids, but going up with like now they got to get their core of like vets to like just
solidify.
Well, their core of vets are 23.
I know, but I think the core of vets the Jays are going to get.
It's Teoscar Hernandez who's 27.
Well, here's a couple other names: Jake Odorizzi, James Paxton.
Odorizzi was sick last year.
These are all solid arms.
Yeah.
Paxton's a Canadian, right?
Yeah. Yep.
He threw the no-hitter.
He threw the no-hitter for... He's all solid.
He's the one who threw the no-hitter in Toronto, right?
In Toronto, yeah. When he was with Seattle. But those guys all, like, they're not 1-2 guys, but they're all solid 3-4.
They all throw innings. Well, Paxton if he's healthy.
Yeah, but they're going to throw 5-6 innings a night.
Yeah.
You need guys.
Eat up 200 innings.
Odorizzi's been a name since he's been on Tampa.
Yeah. He was good on Boston.
On the position side, I mean, what other guys?
Depth there's like for the Jays. You don't really, unless you're gonna go for the big fish and get Lindor.
Let's talk about Lindor.
He's good.
I want it.
Probably the best top 5 shortstop in the league.
Arguably the best shortstop in the league. He's
you
probably
can
not.
argue with. I don't really want to do it.
No,
He's top 5 shortstop.
he's top 5.
Top 5 shortstop.
He's way up
Let's
there.
leave it there.
What was it? What did you say his fielding percentage was, Mark? You said it earlier.
Career 981.
981
Last year you only made 1 error.
in the bubble. I shouldn't say the bubble.
Season.
In the abbreviated season, 1 error in 2 months.
Yeah. Good for him.
Wow. Yeah, that's really
Damn
good.
good shortstop. Doesn't
I'd
make
love if the
mistakes.
Jays got Lindor.
Signed.
Drafted
by our guys.
GM
Mark
team.
Shapiro.
Same head office.
I love it. He's you have players, so if you do trade for him and you gotta play him as short, move Bichette to
second base.
You
He
can
makes
go.
less mistakes.
Sure.
You can got Biggio. You can replace Gurriel with. You have guys like Austin Martin.
Yep.
Coming up, who's extremely
Is
versatile.
Austin Martin going to be that good?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was the best natural hitter in that draft that just came up.
I do remember them saying that.
That's cool. Hopefully.
Yeah, Austin Martin will be the Jays' #1 prospect, but they're still considering Pearson as a prospect. So you got Groshon, who can also he's a shortstop. I assume you could probably throw him in the outfield.
Yeah,
Shortstop's the
he's
probably
probably a guy who can play other positions.
If you play shortstop,
You
I
can
hope
play
you can
anywhere.
play anywhere
Yeah,
else.
exactly.
That's the gig.
You could
Yeah.
also like if you could also use it as a trading tool for.
That's what I
Lindor.
mean. They got a couple blue chips that they can go out and get something if they look like they can win the rounder too.
Exactly, and if you think you can sign Lindor long term, that's also another issue.
Yeah, you don't want to give up all these young guys. You don't want to give up these pieces and just have them for 1 year.
Exactly. I mean, if you can, because Lindor's 27,
He's not old.
he's in his prime.
Yeah.
Fit in with the Jays' age right there.
Exactly.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's it. So
Yeah,
what do the Jays have to give up for him, hypothetically?
I think Gurriel, probably not one of their blue chip prospects that they
Right.
got. Maybe another guy.
Sure. So what? This is at least a 2-3 piece deal, but
Yeah.
and not peanuts.
I
Not
mean,
like the pitchers they got
No.
I
partly
think it
through
could
the
be
year.
like
No,
friggin'
it'd be
Gurriel, Kirk, and
it'd be very
friggin'
similar
maybe
to the
Anthony
Mookie
Kay.
Betts trade to bought when what Dodgers gave up
for
to-
Mookie Betts.
for
Because I
Mookie
don't-
Betts.
I don't think the Indians are gonna want to be giving up Lindor to not get players back who can play immediately.
Exactly,
right,
but
right
also-
now.
Like
Indians
Gurriel, Kirk, and K maybe.
Yeah,
Would
I
be
think
willing
you
to give
need.
up
I
that?
think you need to give up. A
I
little
would
more
be
than
fine
that.
giving up with that because
You have depth at catcher. You have some outfielders.
K might not even like if you think about it.
K's an if.
You can sign somebody to replace K.
Yep.
Kirk is an unknown because he's so young
And they have catcher depth.
and they got catchered that, but he's so young you just never know.
No.
Like it's like that Peter Griffin thing. If it's a boat is a boat, but
If a box could be a boat.
Yeah.
Indians don't have much leverage because they got to get rid of him. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Yeah, I
He's got to
know.
go out the door.
So like you don't have to.
that's
give
the
up,
thing where you might not have to give up that extra.
Exactly. You don't have to give up probably some decent pieces, but you
Right.
don't have to give up as much as if he was solid.
And I mean, one of the reasons he might not be moved right now, or might not have been moved currently, is there might be just not as many teams out there that have that cash to absorb a contract like that. So it's a limited market for him to land, just because all those teams that you would expect to be in that conversation just aren't
Can't afford it.
on account
Which
of
is odd to say in baseball.
Because
For
he's the
some-
guy
for
the
some
Yankees would be
teams.
all over.
yeah.
100%.
We'll see. I mean, by the time, so we're up. What day is it today? It's December 10th.
Yeah.
10th, yep.
So-
Sounds about right.
By the time this episode
Look at
comes
that,
out,
December 10th, 10/10. No way.
Look at that.
so by the time this episode comes
Illuminati
out, who
confirmed.
knows what'll have happened?
knows?
You can tweet at us and tell us how some of these things happen. I mean, we're gonna be, chances are
It's
things
gonna
happen tomorrow.
The trade's gonna happen like
It's gonna happen tomorrow.
within the hour.
Yeah, exactly. A midnight
And Lindor's
blockbuster.
the Toronto Blue Jays.
Anything else? Anything else you guys want to add on the free
I'm
agent
gonna go
front?
on Twitter right now just to make sure.
Just to double
Just-
check.
Just call that right now. Just like, hey, we just did our podcast about Blue Jays rumors. Don't fucking do anything for
Just
at
hold
least
off
a
for
month.
10 days.
Please don't make any trades. Let this be released.
Right on. Okay, if you don't have anything to add, guys, we're gonna send it to the our last minute of play. So, the question is, if the Jays, if you're the general manager of the Jays and you had a magic wand and you waved it right now and you could sign or trade for one player, cost isn't an issue, who would it be?
Trevor Bauer, just solidify that starting rotation.
Mark?
Ian, take this one away. Oh, I take Trevor Bauer for sure.
Okay, cool.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Wow, that's a blast from the past.
Also, I heard Kenny Power doesn't mean fastball.
I'm gonna have to go with Trevor Bauer as well. I mean, he's a guy that every team in the league needs. He's a guy that everybody would love to see pitch. Great 1-2 up the top of the rotation for the Jays. So I mean, starting pitching is so key. You just can't go wrong with a guy like that. So just hopefully they get him signed.
Can't have enough good pitching.
Can't have enough good pitching. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Catch you on the next one.
Thanks for listening. Follow us on Twitter @DraftInHand.